Hello and welcome to ThinkGeo. Today we are introducing two videos on the Maui edition. The first one walks through the structure of the Maui HowDoI samples and showcases how they look and function on macOS, targeting iOS and MacCatalyst. The second one transitions to Windows, focusing on targets for Windows and Android. Now let's get started. Alright, the ThinkGeo Maui beta package is now available on NuGet. As you can see here, it's based on .NET 8. It supports Android, iOS, MacCatalyst, and Windows. You can see it depends on ThinkGeo.core. That's the same package other ThinkGeo components, like desktop edition, web edition, depends on. It's just good to know. The current version number is 1.0.0-beta. You don't need any license to run it, but it will be expired on May 1st, 2024. By then, we will have a new version to replace it, and the ThinkGeo mobile license will be required. The Maui HowDoI sample is available on GitLab under ThinkGeo public Maui samples. We are in the middle of adding more samples, and of course, adding more stuff to README as well. Alright, now I'm going to clone the repo and open the sample with JetBrains Rider on macOS. Let me go ahead and copy the URL. I'm not a big fan of command line, so I'm using this great tool, SmartGit, to clone it. Continue again, and finish. Alright, now right-click the repo and review in Finder. Okay, so now we need to find the solution file. Yep, and just double-click it. And it pops up the rider. Cool. In fact, I'm using Visual Studio all the time, but why not? Just try something different. Okay, let's first run through the project structure. It's a single project solution, which is already pretty awesome, considering it supports multiple platforms. I'm sure you will be loving it, especially if you used to be working with Xamarin Forms. And here you can see it supports Android, iOS, and MacCatalyst. And it's on .NET 8, so make sure your environment is up to date, otherwise you might run into some issues opening the project. So here are the packages. So this one comes from ThinkGeo, and all the others come with the Maui template. So we're not using any third-party packages to keep the project simple. We've got the standard folders like properties, platforms and resources, and files like app.demo, appshell.demo, and mauiprogram.cs. These are all auto-generated for Maui project. We left properties and platforms untouched and just add some icons in the resources folder. No changes in mauiprogram.cs, but we tweaked app.demo and appshell.demo a bit to get the samples rolling. It's all pretty easy to follow. Other than this, we created a data folder for the data and created menu folder for the sample list, a loading page.xaml, of course for loading page, and this .setting file just to get rid of some resharper warnings. And that would leave us the real meat, the samples folder. That is where you can find all the cool stuff from ThinkGeo. We're not going to dig in too much today, but just two quick things about this samples folder. One is this JSON file. So you can see in the JSON file, we have the sample ID, title, description, and from the ID, we can kind of like find the source code of the corresponding sample. So for example, the same one, map navigation, we can find it here, like map navigation and navigation. So that's a source code of the corresponding sample. So another thing that we are not using MVVM pattern, so you will now find the view model stuff. So everything is just in the XAML and it's code behind. Alright, so now let's run the sample. So up here there's the drop-down list for different platforms. The first one is Android, and then iOS and MacCatalyst. So I will not do Android, I just do iOS. After choosing iOS, you can see there's a list of the different emulators. I just go ahead do iPhone 15 and debug it. The triangle is for running on the emulator. The bug is for debugging. Alright, so it pop up the emulator iPhone 15, and that is our sample. Cool, we see the map. So we can pan around, we can do north up, back to the default extent. We can also do the rotation using 2 fingers on the screen. Yeah, some basic stuff here. This one is for changing the to dark theme. Alright, so this is the first sample. Vehicle navigation. This one updates the map based on a collection of GPS points. So you see, like after moving to the new extent, it takes about half a second to refresh the map. Now let me check the second checkbox here, which enables the simultaneous mode. And now you see the map goes much more smoother. You can get more about that in the doc, pros and cons. Alright, the first checkbox is for replacing the background map. Yep. Alright. Next one, zoom to extent. So this one we put a shift file on top of the background map. And first we have the same checkbox for simultaneous zooming. And we have those buttons to show the different ways to zoom to an extent. I mean, you can easily get the idea from the name of the buttons. Alright. Yeah. Okay. The beautiful thing is that everything is super responsive. So every time you start a new zooming, it will immediately stop the previous one and start the animation for the new one. Alright. Alright, next. Set up map in XAML. This sample in fact is much cooler than it looks, but I will just skip it for now. We will talk more about it after we switching over to Windows. Alright, the next one. Black hole. So this sample takes a long time to run. To save us some time, I will kick off the MacCatalyst sample first. So I stopped the iOS one, and in the drop-down list here, the third one is the MacCatalyst. Choose that one. I will do debug. Alright, while waiting, we just come back to the HowDoI samples in the iOS emulator. And go back to where we were. Black holes. Alright, just click on that button. It will zoom us all the way into the black hole. Of course, this is not a mapping sample, but I just want to show you like what you can do beyond mapping with ThinkGeo component. So this specific one, we just gave each image a fake center point and a fake scale and put them together. Of course, with some code, we can then have something like this. It's beautiful. Zoom us all the way to the black hole. Alright, and impeccable timing. Now we kick off the MacCatalyst sample as well. So this is the first sample you see. We can do the same thing here. And change the background. And the second sample, vehicle navigation. We can also enable the simultaneous mode. Alright. And next one. We can also do the zoomings using those buttons. It's super responsive as well. Cool. Alright, next sample. Set up a map in XAML. Again, I will skip this sample. We will talk more about it after we switching over to Windows. And again, this sample is much cooler than it looks. Now, black hole. Kick off the zooming. Alright, let me do it side by side. Why not? It's cool. Alright guys, this is ThinkGeo Maui HowDoI samples running on JetBrains Rider on macOS. It's still in beta. We're adding more samples, adding more stuff to the documentation, and some of the APIs in the SDK might be changed as well. Now I'm going to switch over to Windows and open the same HowDoI samples in Visual Studio and show you how it looks on Windows and Android. Alright, see you later guys, bye.